Working on a 2010 Toyota FJ Cruiser. Going to replace the speakers here, and I'm sure if you're trying to replace the speakers, you at least know how to get this far into the door with taking the door panel off and everything like that. But you can see that the stock 6x9 fits in there pretty freely, about like this. But get an aftermarket 6x9 and that's what you're going to come up with. So I'm going to show you what I did to kind of get to that point to where I could install this without having to take it somewhere. So I'll come back after I do it, but what I did was took the old speaker. This thing's like maybe a fucking 3 ounces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Dremel and cut this entire speaker out of here and reuse this with the kit that they supplied with it to put that cover on there, which nobody ever really uses anyway. So I'm gonna cut this out and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I cut the old speaker out and you'll have kind of a rough design like this. After that, retake your Dremel, just grab some kind of sandpaper, whatever you need to do, and just clean this up a little bit, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so once you're done, just roughly, I mean, I don't think it needs to be perfect. I did the other side, and as long as it's flat and relatively smooth, just kind of, sorry for the angle here, just take your speaker, put it in there, make sure you get it in there right. If you're doing an FJ, you're going to have this little clip up here where the old speaker clipped into, and I'll kind of show you how I did it on my side, but you'll kind of have it like this, and then you got these screws here that came to mount that face plate. All I did was stick it in here, drill it, or not even drill it, I just used a regular Phillips head and got it back into there. And it'll stick out a little bit from the other side, and this needs to sit flat inside that door. So what I did was screw it all in and then just go behind here and snip off the extra. So let me get that done and I'll be back with you. Alright, so as you can see, bam, you get the new speaker in there, just hold it down right in there. I know there's a little gap there, but it's in there. Then you'll be able to install it. All you got to do is cut these little tabs off, because as you see there's that seal right there. It's going to need to sit flat. So take your Dremel back out, cut the tips off, be careful not to go too deep or you'll just strip that bolt or that screw and it won't hold no more. So let me get that done and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so you can see I cut the tips of those screws so it can just sit nice and neat on the back of it. And like I said, I am just using a standard Dremel with, of course, the metal cutting tip. I know maybe I shouldn't be using that on plastic, but who gives a damn? And then I was just using that to grind down the plastic. So let me go back over here to the door and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so mine came with this little wire right here. I don't know if yours does. If not, then I'm sure there's another video that shows you how to just use speaker wire to redo this. I guess you can cut this, but I'm pretty keen on not messing up too much. Obviously, I didn't need this part because if somebody decides they want to go back to stock, or I don't plan on getting rid of the truck, so I'm really not that worried about it. But I don't like cutting things that I don't need to cut. So I'm going to keep this old harness here without cutting all that shit apart. Obviously the one with the black line, if you don't know, is going to be your ground. The other one is going to be your live. So I got a red, which is always live. Just jam that bitch in there. Which I was actually pretty happy to see that this came with this and didn't have to do no extra work. And I just got to put this in there. And I've already done the other side and it actually worked quite well. So you can see, bam, that worked quite nicely. And that's why I left this little piece right here. Just gonna jam these down through there, nice and neat. Sorry, this is where the portions of the video are gonna slow down. I'm not just gonna keep pausing it on you. So put those down in there. Grab them through. And then with my particular speaker, I actually don't have to worry about it. It's labeled, but one's bigger than the other one, so they won't go on the incorrect one. They can only go one spot, so that made it pretty easy for me. Flip it around there. Hook that one up, clip it in. Hook this one up. Clip it in, move my little covers back down in the space. And then you can see that a speaker that was nowhere near fitting before. And then I can put that down in there again, bam. Looks like that's how it came. Move it in there, and as you can see, she's gonna fit right back in there just like she was when she was stock. So me, I'm all about making sure I did shit right. So I already did the other side, so I'm not gonna do the 5 speaker test to make sure they're working before I turn this one on. But definitely before I turn these screws all the way in, I'm gonna pop the car on and make sure that the speaker's working on this side too. Let's see. And we are good. And just so you know, this is my girlfriend's truck. This is not my truck. So if you're curious of why there was that on it, it's got nothing to do with me. So yeah, there you go. As you see, it looks nice, neat, it works. And I didn't have to go spend however much money on having somebody else do it. So yeah, if you got any questions, just leave them in there and I'll do what I can to help you out.